The legislative session is well underway in Kansas. As we've mentioned, lawmakers have a lot to talk about, and Governor Laura Kelly's reaching across the aisle to try and guide that discussion. She addressed the House and Senate Wednesday night, spelling out her priorities for the year in her State of the State address. She pledged to try for Medicaid expansion for a sixth time. It's been an uphill battle every year in a Republican-controlled legislature. She's also working with some conservatives on a plan to counter the flat tax proposal that Republican leaders want to push through Topeka. It includes, among other items, exempting the first $100,000 in state property taxes for all Kansas homeowners, dropping state taxes on Social Security income, and boosting the state's standard deduction on income taxes, along with a number of other tax cuts and credits meant to help Kansans across the state.
Let's take the flat tax off the table once and for all. Instead, let's come together around this plan. It benefits all Kansans, not just those at the top, and it includes ideas from both Republicans and Democrats.
Last week, Republican House Speaker Dan Hawkins told us his party planned to propose a slightly higher flat tax than last year, try to win over lawmakers on the fence about his plan. The governor, meanwhile, is out with an op-ed in the Kansas City Star promoting her plan alongside Republican Senators John Dahl and Rob Olson and Independent Senator Dennis Pyle, writing in part, "It's a fiscally responsible and comprehensive proposal, offering something for Kansans of all walks and at all stages of life." Will it be enough, though, to pass the legislature? Let's get to the heart of the matter with our roundtable of journalists. KMBC 9 political reporter Michael Mahoney is here, along with Pilar Pedraza, senior political reporter from KAKE News, joining us from the Capitol in Topeka. Thank you both for being here. The governor, Pilar, really hammered home the theme of helping rural Kansas. What's your takeaway?
Yeah, that was really, I think, part of her effort to rule from the middle, to legislate from the middle. She's definitely reaching out to Republicans and concentrating on rural Kansas, certainly reached all Republicans. Every Republican I spoke with after the speech, that was what they liked about her speech, was that she really was concentrating on rural Kansas. And I think it also is the reach out to the voters saying, listen, we're not a dying state. We're thriving at this point. We need to take pride in that and do what we can to build it up. And she even pointed out that we have rural communities that are growing at 8 times the national average. Rural Kansas isn't dying, was her point. And it was as much as a morale speech as it was a policy speech in some ways.
And trying to get maybe some moderates over to her side when it comes to some of these big issues that she's going to need support for.
Oh yeah, and,
no doubt.
Yeah, this was a speech politically to attract the Kansas legislators from rural Kansas, which is 90% of it, and try to make some inroads on that politically. As many of the House representatives and all the House and some of the senators are up for re-election, so she wants red Kansas to know that they've got a voice in the governor's office right now working for them. So that was the big pitch from the speech that I took away, is that she has these proposals for Medicare, for rural hospitals, for rural water, all those sorts of things. And she really wants red Kansas Republican voters out there to know that she is in their corner.
Right, and Medicaid expansion, right, which Speaker Hawkins told me last week, he doesn't think that's going to pass. Mahoney, how do you see this shaking out?
I think it's going to be very difficult again for the governor to get this through. There's simply not the appetite, as Mr. Hawkins said last week on this show, and then he said it again last week during his response to the state. He thinks that there are a lot of people, or the governor thinks a lot of people, Kansans, would support Medicaid expansion, but she cannot get the bills to the floors of the House and the Senate for votes, and that hasn't changed.
Yeah, Pilar, let's talk about the flat tax that we discussed a little bit ago. That's another major Republican priority. Will lawmakers have the support? Are we going to see the governor be able to bridge that gap here when it comes to legislation?
Well, this is what I've heard from all sides. When I spoke with Dan Hawkins at the beginning of the first week of the session, he admitted, this was just hours after the governor had made her announcement of her tax plan, he admitted that with her plan out there, it was going to be very, very difficult to get the flat tax across the finish line, let alone to overcome a veto from the governor's office. So Republican leadership, they're still attached to the flat tax idea, but they know that it's a hard fight for them to hoe right now, that they've really got to push on it. Meanwhile, when I spoke with Rob Olson about the new tax plan that he's worked on with the governor, he said they really see theirs as the backup for when the flat tax plan fails. They see it as, okay, we can come in. We've got, all right, you couldn't get that one across. Now let's talk about ours. So I think right now both sides are kind of settling in. They know this is going to be a fight, and they're staking out their personal grounds of what they're going to try and do. I know that there's going to be a lot of lobbying on both sides, and those moderate Republicans, those rural Kansas Republicans you're talking about, Mike, they are going to be the key.
Yeah, the other thing that I thought was interesting, Pilar, about what Governor Kelly said is she directly linked the flat tax plan that's now under consideration with the Brownback tax experiments, and said that we don't need another risky tax experiment for Kansas. And I expect that to be a big part of her argument to the legislature, going, look, you, even Republicans, did not like the Brownback tax experiment and repealed a large part of it. And she'll make that pitch throughout this session.
All right, and we'll be watching closely. Michael Mahoney, Pilar Pedraza, thank you so much.